It has finally came out, guys. The third and last banner of the Tensura Revival event. One that some of us, including myself, have been anticipating for. And you know what? I was hoping that this would be the banner that I would finally be able to get a Tensura unit. But sadly, this is what happened. Well, it's pretty clear that I haven't been so lucky this time around for this crossover, but enough of that. Today, I wanted to do a little informative video on what's to come this year around for Grand Summers and what to expect. So obviously, in the last years, Grand Summers has had a few anime crossovers, those of which include Kill la Kill, Crunchyroll Hime, One Punch Man, Golden Kamuy, Tensura, The Rising of the Shield Hero, Yu Yu Hakusho, and the most recent one with Re:Zero. In 2020, we had the Rising of the Shield Hero, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Re:Zero, which was cool, especially with the OG Yu Yu Hakusho anime, which I'll say was a win for GS, because I believe that so far, out of the other anime crossovers that GS has had, this one was the most hyped and kind of brought more new players, whether you were a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho or not. Now for 2021, it's safe to say that they will be having more anime crossovers.
Speaking of content, are you enjoying Swag? There's much more in store this year, so stay tuned for more crossover news.
And hopefully they do another poll for the players to vote what will be the next anime crossover, as they did for the Rising of the Shield Hero last year. Now, aside from the anime crossovers, some of you may know about the GS popularity contest, where players get to vote for their top 3 favorite units. This might be an Easter egg to some of you, or maybe not, but in the survey, the first question it asks you is choose your 3 favorite GS legends. So I scroll down and I start to see the main mascots of GS, but then slowly I can see that they have already made the character icons for some of the new units that I'm assuming would be a part of the Cross the Blaze event. And as I scrolled down furthermore, I also started to see some unusual units but with familiar faces, which pretty much sums up this video with 2 things I can confirm to expect in the near future. And one more thing that I haven't discussed yet, but we'll get into that in a bit. 1 is the additional Cross the Blaze units. 2, the awakening of the unawakened pre-existing 5-star units, and 3, the revival of previous crossovers. Up to this day, so far GS has awakened 3 pre-existing units here. As for when exactly the rest of the 5-star units will be awakened, I don't know for sure, but you can definitely expect them to be real soon, if not at some point this year, guaranteed. Now for the revival of previous crossovers, well, GS has already revived the Goblin Slayer crossover, and obviously now we have the Tensura revival event. Even though they brought back the Goblin Slayer crossover, it was pretty basic compared to the Tensura revival event that is going on right now. But if I were to give my personal opinion, I definitely wouldn't mind the idea of bringing back previous crossovers, although I do think it would be a good idea to replicate what they're doing with this specific revival, where they bring back not just the OG banner of that crossover, but also add an additional 2 banners, right, with brand new units. Because I think it would be pretty cool for Grand Summoners to have a revival event, for example, the Rising of the Shield Hero, and maybe add the legendary heroes Moriyasu, Ren, and Itsuki as the newer units for the second banner. This is only just a suggestion because I know also for some of the anime crossovers that GS has already done, don't really have a lot of characters to choose from, but if possible for the future crossovers, if Grand Summers can establish more collaborations with animes like Black Clover, Azure Lane, or maybe even High School DxD, that way they have a variety of characters to work with for future revival events, and not only will this get people more hyped to play the game and spend money on these banners, but also would benefit Grand Summoners in the long run. And the last thing I want to encourage is the guaranteed crossover unit ticket for my free-to-play players out there. I believe this strategy does give summoners more confidence in buying more crystals and packs, and if not, at least with this, Grand Summoners will have less people uninstalling the game just to create a Smurf account and then give the game bad ratings. So aside from all of this, there's not much I would really change. I only suggest more revival events with a brand new unit, anime collabs with more characters for future crossovers and revivals, and lastly, I encourage the guaranteed crossover unit ticket for the free-to-play summoners out there. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this little info video. I'm sure you might find something similar, but for this channel I try to post content of my own gameplay, and I find covering some of the most recent Grand Summoner news in short detail is cool too. I'm actually trying to build a community of GS players, and I already made a Discord if you're interested in joining. Nothing special, just a place to chill, to discuss things on GS or just hang out and chill. Thanks again guys for watching. Peace.